Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the physical appearance and physical attractiveness of the Taurus Rising, so stay tuned. But I just want to firstly start off this video by saying a big massive thank you to all of you who sent in your images for the purpose of this video today. Thank you so much. Now also, before we get into this, make sure that you give this video a like if you do like it today, and also make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and to of course click that little bell icon so that you can keep updated with further content from myself. And one more quick thing to mention is that I currently have some merchandise available on my Teespring, so definitely head on over there if you are interested in any of that. So yes, with all those introductions out of the way, then Taurus Rising individuals, let's do this. Okay, so we are specifically going to be focusing on the rising sign in order to analyze physical appearance today and also physical attractiveness. However, also keep in mind the sun sign. So the sun sign can also give more of an indication into physical appearance, and also look at the midheaven. And according to some astrologers here as well, it's also good to look at the position of the chart ruler for more of an indication into physical appearance. Now, I have previously made a series about the physical appearance of the rising signs before. That was about 3 years ago, and I would like to think within the space of 3 years I have grown upon my knowledge when it comes to astrology. So this is more of an updated version, though the main difference between that series and this one is that that series was more focused on celebrity examples. But for this series, we are looking at you guys, okay? I've asked you, my subscribers, to send in your images to me. So as I say, thank you so much for sending in your images. Okay, so what is it then about the Taurus risings that can be deemed as physically attractive? Well, the first and most commonly known quality about the Taurus rising that can be deemed as physically attractive is they're wide and square-like, yet soft and gentle and smooth-like face. See, what you can often find with them is how their jaws, they can appear quite wide in appearance, whilst their cheeks, they can appear quite squishy and spongy, creating a sort of roundness in appearance. Naturally though, the capacity of the squishiness, as I mentioned, it can depend upon the individual's weight and genetics, but even for those who have more slender faces, you can still notice a fine blend of that width and that sort of elasticity. Though on the other hand, I could also pick up on some people's jaws that possessed much depth and much firmness, with sort of dents kind of along here. They really caved in quite a bit. So whilst there are some with a certain curviness to their jaw and their cheeks, there's also some with a certain hardness and a sharpness in appearance, but all still possessing this commonality, I suppose, of a smooth-like texture, as their skin, it can appear quite silky and satiny, and then the edges of their face can appear to look quite sleek and shiny as well. And so in this respect, what you can find with Taurus risings is how well they look after their skin. So they might not wear any makeup the moment that they notice a little blemish on their skin, or the moment that they really just need some TLC when it comes to their skin, just some time for their skin to breathe. And then on the days that they do wear makeup, right, they like to make sure that everything is looking really good, okay? Which, come to think of it here, I noticed many Taurus risings who sent in their image to me is that they had their eyelashes done and also their eyebrows done, and even those who didn't appear to be wearing a lot of makeup, they had either their eyelashes or their eyebrows done. And in terms of their hair as well, their hair looked really, really nice, okay? So many of them had just gorgeous, healthy looking hair, and plenty of it as well here, which I suppose in a way is another thing about them that can be deemed as physically attractive, and that's just how well groomed and how well kept and polished they can appear. Seriously, these people are people who not only can pull off the more grounded, earthy, just very down-to-earth look as they wear comfy clothes or as they wear just basic trainers or sneakers, but they're also people who can scrub up really, really well. You know that whole terminology of the glow up? They can really glow up as they wear, you know, like fancy or formal dresses or suits or whatever. And you can also find them either wearing like no nail polish, so zero nail polish, but then you can also at the same time find them during moments where they have really, really fancy nails. So their nails are done up, they're wearing like acrylics, or they're wearing gel nails. Just, they can really fluctuate between more of that down to earth, no makeup, nothing really on them look, but then also go to that very luxurious, fancy, really dressed up look. And what I find interesting about the males is how many of them wore some type of accessory item in their photo as well. A few of them wore hats or caps, and then someone actually wore a really, really long necklace, and then another person wore an earring in their image. And I also picked up on how a few different people wore nose rings in their images. Though essentially here, when it comes to Taurus risings, okay, they know how to accessorize. They know how to create fun and creative makeup looks and hairstyles, and they know how to dress in clothing that really does suit their shape and suit their complexion. Of course, it's also good to keep in mind the placement of Venus, because the Venus sign can also show more of an indication, can provide more of an insight into their sense of style, along with their physical appearance as well, seeing as Venus is indeed their chart ruler. But what you can frequently find when it comes to a Taurus rising individual is how just finely attuned they are with both their physical body and also with their physical needs, desires, and pleasures. And so due to this reason, you might come across Taurus risings that are fashionistas, or Taurus risings who are health enthusiasts, who pay great attention to their diet, or Taurus risings who are one with nature, you know, as they take long walks, or maybe they purchase products that aren't really full of chemicals. Or you may run into some Taurus risings who are much more luxurious, as I say, as they make a really consistent and deliberate, conscious way of viewing the material world, where their money decisions are very, very deliberate, and they may have this consistent pattern when it comes to money as well, as they maybe purchase the same things time and time again. So what I will say is that how steady and how firm they feel in their body, it certainly depends upon their financial and current security disposition. But if there's one thing that they prefer, that's a routine, okay? It's a routine that's dependable. And so in this way, they really can be people who are very much set in their ways, and they know what works for them, and they can be creatures of habit, and they'll most likely stick to what it is that works for them, rather than making hasty decisions to change. So they might order the same drink at Starbucks, for example, consistently, or they might purchase the same brand of hair care products as another example, or, you know, they might have certain core values that they follow, just no matter what. And it's this uncomplicated and firm way of behaving that can be shown in their physical appearance. So they might prefer their hair curly, for many, many years, you know, just wear it that way, before they then decide to change it to more of a straighter look, or they decide to cut it, for example. Or they might wear the same fitness jersey before they switch over to something new. And I suppose as well, this reliable type of personality that I'm talking about, it can be viewed as physically attractive because it shows a great deal of security. It shows a great deal of security within their one-on-one relationships. So if you're their partner, it'll most likely be easier to know what to buy them as gifts. Or if you're their friend, then you might be more familiar with the types of restaurants or cafes that they really, really like. So you can visit together without really worrying so much about whether or not they're going to like it. And you'll also most likely know where you stand with the Taurus rising, which can hopefully create more ease for both or all parties involved. And this also links quite well, I think, with the feelings of comfort that you can feel whenever you're in the presence of a Taurus rising, and how that can contribute to their physical attractiveness as well. So they might invite you over for dinner, as they create a really, really calming and chilled atmosphere for you both to enjoy. Or they might lend a comforting and supportive hand whenever you're going through a really rocky time throughout your life. Seriously, these are people who, they can act like anchors in your life, and if you're in their social circle, then they'll most likely be very, very hands-on with you and just hands-on with things. You know, they'll really show up for you. Not to mention, they can be great planners as well, whilst simultaneously being very pleasant and polite socially too. These things mixed together makes for a person who puts in a lot of effort. But yes, expect to feel more at ease whenever you're in their company, and then expect to be attracted to such to this sort of quality within them, especially if you're someone who is a bit more chaotic or a bit more over the place like me. You know, I can be very much in my head, very much a worrier, but I actually have a very close friend of mine who I am pretty sure has a Taurus rising. I'm pretty sure. I do not know her exact time of birth, but I definitely see these qualities within her. And whenever I'm around her, I go into this calm space. It really does help me. But yeah, they can definitely help you slow down, okay? These are people that can help you slow down, help you breathe, which can lead to you feeling much more relaxed, okay? Much more calmer, much more refreshed. And this within itself can leave you wanting more, right? Now, another thing about their physical appearance here is actually to do with their plump and fuller lips. What you can find is that these are people whose lips can look very kissable, as if you're kissing really soft pillows. You know, they just have a very plumpness about them. Or what you might even find is that one of their lips can be bigger than the other, so their bottom lip might be really, really plump, and then they may have a thinner top lip, or vice versa. And their smiles as well, they can also be contagious. And I did notice that many of the people who sent in their pictures to me is that they had really lovely smiles along with beautiful teeth too, might I add. Their smiles just appeared gentle, okay? Very gentle, very pleasant. And you could certainly see a certain cheeriness and enjoyment in their whole face as they smiled, but it's not something that was overly harsh, you know, it's just really, really smooth looking, very calming looking. It's the type of smile that just can light up a room, you know. And then there were others as well that I noticed whose smiles and their lips, they appeared more on a sensual side, okay, more sensual, showcasing, I suppose, showcasing a certain voluptuousness to their face. Though, to be fair, there were some whose eyes, okay, their eyes displayed this as well, this sort of sensuality. Some of them certainly had those dreamy bedroom eyes that appeared quite seductive and sexually alluring. So yeah, when it comes to the Taurus risings, there can sometimes be a sexual appetite written on their face or showcased through their facial expressions and also their mannerisms. And it's also commonly known that they have very calming and soothing voices as well, and that they just sound really pleasant. So there might be something in their voice that others find highly attractive, or it might be the choice of their words that draws people in. Now, of course, I can't really show you examples of their voice in this video, but they are known for their calm and gentle voices. And I suppose this leads us on to something else about them, and that's how pleasant and kind they can be as people. These are people who are going to be understanding and patient with you, and they're people who are quite likable as well due to how well they can get along with others. Very similar to the Libra risings in this respect. However, I suppose a main difference between them and the Libra rising is that Taurus risings are not as adaptable, okay? They are not as flexible. So sure, they'll stick around and support others, and sure, they'll be polite and they may desire peace and harmony within the atmosphere, but the moment that something no longer feels comfortable, or the moment that something threatens their security, they will most likely stick their feet firm in the ground, refuse to budge until something changes to make them feel secure once again. Oh yeah, these are the types of people who they might hold onto a hasty action that you made towards them for a pretty long time. And they're people who do not like to have their values attacked or undermined in any way, shape or form. And so the moment that you anger them or really piss them off, you'll most likely know about it. Now, on one hand, this shows how secure, okay, they seek to feel. They seek out that security within themselves. But on the other hand, this also can suggest that they sometimes can get stuck in a rut due to their sort of stiffness, so to speak. Though still, they really can be such pleasing and enjoyable people to be around. And when you're on good terms with a Taurus rising, then expect plenty of invites to enjoyable events, expect fun shopping trips to buy new clothes, or tickets to watch your favorite games or concerts, or expect trips to beaches, you know, going for a nice trip to the beach, or going camping, or having a nice relaxing day session at the spa, or going on a really cool hike, or maybe booking an appointment at a beauty salon. Expect presents for your birthday or for Christmas that are really, really thoughtful, or most importantly here, expect really laid back days or evenings, either just chilling on the sofa or sipping on wine at the bar or just kicking back at your local coffee shop. Though the last and final physical feature about the Taurus risings that can be seen as physically attractive is their meaty nose. See, what you can often find is that their noses can appear wider in appearance, and it can have much flesh at the end of their nose. And even for those whose noses were not the widest out of the images sent in to myself, they still had that bulkiness on the tip of their nose. Though whatever the case here when it comes to their noses still seem to be well proportioned on their actual face, and the bridge of their noses were quite well defined, and then the nostrils as well were very much prominent there too. You could just really see their nostrils very clearly, but it just made their nose just work really, really well. But still, you know, ultimately it's their noses that can look very, very well placed on their face, and this within itself can definitely be viewed as physically attractive. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the physical appearance and physical attractiveness of the Taurus rising. Now, if you happen to have a Taurus rising, and especially if you happen to be one of the individuals who sent in your image to me, then definitely let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section. down below. And again, thank you so much for sending in your image for the video today. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and give this video a like, remember, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!